Hello, it's me, Greg. I bring you a nice tasty omelet for you to eat with my friend Donnie. We are the Boxcar buddies. I take this boxcar from the rail yard and I bring it and take some velvet stuff and put it all over the walls. Now it's a disco party inside the boxcar. It's a disco party in the boxcar.
Disco party in the boxcar. What up?
Doing them disco moves, putting my finger up, wiggling it around, and I have a big afro.
Big afro and really tight pants. Those are some new pants.
Thank you.
Those
I
look
got
good.
these from Ragstock.
Those are, I have to say, pretty flattering.
They are very tight.
Flattering on the calves.
Mm-hmm. You could see every roll.
Really popping. I'm starting to see some veins bulge, like just below your like
Perfect.
the bottom of the shin.
I want everyone to look at my calves and see them pulsate. With electronic energy.
You're on the way. You're on the way there with those,
disco
man.
moves.
Cool. Ragstock is nice. We got this staying alive, which is what we're doing, thankfully, as two homeless guys in Chicago. That's the best we can hope for, is to stay alive.
We eat a bunch of garbage and we live.
Mm-hmm. Drink radioactive water all the time. What's radon? What's radon got to do with it? Nothing with me. Nothing with my health bill.
Well, it does make your chest energy thingy glow.
Oh, yeah. Look at it. It's brighter.
It's like a nightlight. It looks like the inside of a glow stick.
Yeah, it's great.
That's not good, Don.
I actually had a construction worker approach me last week, and he asked me what I was using in here because he thought that him and his guys could use that when they're working at night to avoid getting hit by cars and stuff on
You could be their nightlight?
Yeah. He was
I feel like I could plug you into my wall and make sure my children don't scream in the middle of the night.
Right. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them less afraid or maybe more afraid.
You would probably terrify them because you're a grown-ass man with a window.
Right.
With a visible spine that is glowing.
Yeah, and every time they wake up from their nightmares, they don't get the reassurance of like a parent telling them everything's going to be okay. It's just going to be me leering in the corner.
It's going to be you, like, standing up against the corner, breathing heavily, just going, sorry, allergy season.
Is it 5 a.m. yet, kids? How close are we? Just kind of counting the minutes toward the end of the night.
My sinuses have been really acting up.
Yeah, it wouldn't work out well.
You sound like an adult Chucky.
Which I can't. From Rugrats, not the doll that kills everybody.
No, that's the murder. We're talking about like the sad redhead boy whose mom is dead. But then he got a replacement mom.
Yeah, he did. Which happens sometimes. Mm-hmm. So, just get replaced
out with the old and in with the new.
Mm-hmm. Such is life. But anyway, this is our life. We are in a disco-themed boxcar, coated in velvet along the inside, thanks to my man Greg.
Thank you.
Found some,
I made a stop at Michael's.
Yeah, you did. And I remember you were telling me just before we fired this stuff up that you caught like a delivery midway and the guys were just eating, not paying attention in the back of Michael's, so you just made out of there with a huge roll of velvet. Mm-hmm, and what better way to use it than to coat the inside of this car, and the sound in here is really cool.
I mean, it sounds like our rooms normally. Like, there's still echo.
Yeah, there is a little bit.
But
it's because it's like fey leather or velvet.
But it's so soft.
It's so soft.
I can just roll around on it.
Yeah, I'm
like
actually,
a dog.
I'm actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to take some of this spare off the roll over here and just rip it and make a little cape for myself.
Oh, man, now you've got like this little pimp cape.
Yeah, that's nice. Ooh, I like that. It feels so good on the bare shoulders.
It looks good.
Thank you.
It looks like you need a big golden crown and a scepter.
Ooh, maybe a pinky
ring? You could
ring?
be the king of Disco Land.
King of Disco Land. That sounds nice. But
I present you with the award for Earth, Wind, and Fire.
And sparkling lights and parties till dawn.
How about that?
Mamma mia, that's good. I would very much like to welcome you all back to the Boxcar Buddies. I'm Don.
I'm Greg.
And we like to meet every week and talk about some content that two homeless guys bouncing around Chicago manage to absorb in whatever way that might be. And last week was pretty bizarre. We were on the water. It was different, and didn't end well for either of us, but we did manage to escape, and we made it here, and Now I feel a lot better, and I'll tell you, it was a hectic week, a lot of reflection on my part, sort of thinking about...
Yeah, I kept looking at myself in the water because I was stuck on that boat for a couple days.
Oh, really?
Yeah. After you jumped ship, I was kind of just on there.
I'm sorry. I know you said you couldn't swim. I thought it was a joke or something, and I just went. I laughed.
Oh,
and I
man,
dove
the
into
guy
it.
with one arm and a metal, easily rustable hand can't swim?
I thought maybe there was an attachment.
Oh my God, the humanity!
I thought maybe-
I would have never fucking guessed.
I thought maybe you had like a life raft that was going to pop out of your
You
back
know
leg
how
or
much
something?
this hand weighs? For those who are first-time listeners, I have a robot hand that I fashioned myself.
Mm-hmm. It looks good.
It weighs a lot. It weighs 200 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You really bear that well. I have to say, it doesn't look, you're not like lopsided when you're walking around. Like you bear it pretty well, man. 200-pound robot arm.
Robot hand. The rest of me is still flesh.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, it's kind of hard to flop around with this big, heavy hand that kind of just, it's dense.
Yeah.
And then you've got a little nub on this side that can't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, I probably should have guessed you really couldn't swim that well. But I was...
What gave it away?
I wasn't thinking about it. Coast Guard's coming. A lot of noise. Scummy and Freak just yelling. I don't know. I thought sink or swim, and I'm swimming.
Well, you left me to sink.
I'm sorry.
So I was stuck on that boat with no gas for about 2 days. It was a journey, but thankfully, it was strange.
Really?
Yeah, so let me tell you about what I've been playing.
You went on a strange journey.
I went on a strange journey with deep strange journey.
Whoa.
Yeah, thankfully I brought my 3DS with me when we took that boat.
Yeah.
I wanted something to preoccupy me.
Yeah.
And I now have the remake of an old DS game, part of the Shin Megami Tensei universe.
Okay.
Deep Strange Journey.
Well.
So this is a very unconventional RPG, especially with the SMT series. I think I might have talked about them. It's the same guys that made Persona.
Uh-huh.
Their mainline series is about the apocalypse and recruiting demons. So all your party members are demons that you talk to. But this time with the setting, instead of being set in Tokyo and you're just a random schlub who's trying to stop the apocalypse, you are a trained soldier on a expedition through the Schwarzwald.
Schwarzwald.
Which is German for black hole.
Interesting.
So a massive black hole opened up in the South Pole. It's huge. Like, it's taken up most of the South Pole. Mm-hmm. So the plan is 4 big, like, hover tanks are going in to investigate and see if they can actually put a stop to the black hole from spreading. Mm-hmm. So you fly in, and immediately all the ships crash. Oh. All 4 of them. So once you crash, all power is taken out. Your AI, which is essentially Arthur, or what's the name of the AI guy from 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Oh,
Robo-I.
Yeah.
Roberto.
Yeah.
Your robot AI has shut down. Most of the energy supply in your ship is shut down. When all of a sudden you notice that all of your crewmates are being attacked by something. They're being fucking, like, eaten and murdered.
Ugh.
When all of a sudden your suit says, now initiating the demon summoning program.
Whoa.
It's like, what the fuck is this? Your visor turns on and you see, like, these pixelated, fucked up little monsters. After you kill them, they show up on your screen as actual monsters. And you're like, oh, God.
Yikes.
So, Strange Journey is about these soldiers trying to survive in this horrible, horrible place.
Schwarzwald.
Because the Schwarzwald is taking human nature and reflecting it in the most horrible way possible. The game is set up into sections, and each one represents a different part of humanity. So the very first level is war. When you exit the ship, everything looks like you're still in Antarctica or the South Pole. It's all ice and snow, and it's all shitty. But once you step outside the ice cavern, all of a sudden you're set in a city on fire with the screams of humans, but there's no humans there other than you guys.
Damn. Phantom screams?
It's pretty fucked. So you're trying to go through all of these areas. Like there's one level that's based off of like a mall. It's a really fucked up mall where they're selling like human meat. Oh, yeah.
Good God.
It's not real human meat, unfortunately.
So is the mall like populated? Like there are
it's
people
full of demons.
Oh, so everybody that you're talking to, like in there, is like a demon.
And most of the people in there are it's your crewmates and friendly demons.
Okay.
Because demons can do whatever the fuck they want. Sometimes they're like, yeah, humans seem cool. I'll hang out with them. Or they're just like, that bitch looks tasty.
Yum,
I'm
yum.
gonna bite down into his inner thigh.
So I can make my Schwarzwelt a little tighter. You know
if you know what I'm saying. It's an interesting game because the way that the game is set up, it's a first-person dungeon crawler. As you explore this map, it's full of traps. You have to really think about your routes. You have to really think about what you're going to run into. And one thing that I really, really do like about the game to add to the mystery and to like the suspense of you're in a really fucked up situation. You're being hunted down by actual living demons.
Yeah.
Your suit cannot differentiate demons when you first encounter them if it's a new demon. So if you run into a brand new monster, it just shows up as a blue pixel. You don't know its name. You have no idea about its weaknesses or its attacks.
Right.
But after you kill it, your suit scans it and says, oh, this is a pixie.
Uh-huh.
Or this is a little snowman that wants to murder you.
Does your suit tell you if it was like friendly or not? Like after you've killed it?
So, kinda what you have to do is your party members are all demons. You never get regular party members except the main character. The whole point of Shin Megami Tensei games is to recruit demons, and you recruit them by talking to them and bargaining.
Okay.
So sometimes it's random, where if you just chat with the demon, it will say, fuck you, I don't want to talk to you. If you answer its question and it likes your answer, you can then negotiate so you can get items, you can get money, they can give you a little bit of health, or you can have them join your party. And then you have to haggle with them. So you give them money. You give them your own energy. You give them items. And sometimes their requests can be ludicrous. I had one demon ask me if he could have $1 million.
Yeah.
And once I said, I don't have that money, he flipped shit and attacked me.
Damn.
It's a tough game, too. I remember the original being way harder, though. But the remake is a lot less hard, but it's still difficult. Shin Megami Tensei games have always been difficult. They're the anti-Final Fantasy. They don't want to be mash A to attack and you'll win. It's like, no, you have to think about what their weaknesses are. You have to think about turn order. You also have to think about your alignments, because all the mainline SMT games have 3 endings. Either you're neutral and you look for a route that is not evil or good, lawful, which is like siding with angels, and chaos, which sides with demons.
Sure.
Your demons will show up as alignments. So red text demons are chaos aligned. If you're chaos aligned and you both do a attack that hits a weakness of an enemy, you'll do an extra attack that does even more damage.
Because you're chaos buddies.
Yeah, because you're chaos buddies. This has changed from mainline, like Shin Megami Tensei 1 through 4, because if you hit an enemy with a weakness, you actually gain an extra turn. Ooh. So you can have up to 8 attacks in one turn.
Nice.
But if you miss an attack, you lose 2 to 3 turns, depending.
Yeah.
It's high risk, high reward. Well, that's been cut off in Strange Journey, so you can't really take advantage of weaknesses too much other than causing more damage. That doesn't really work for bosses, though, because bosses don't really have weaknesses. They're like immune to a shit ton of attacks.
Ouch.
So it gets harder and harder as the game goes on, but the atmosphere of it is fantastic. As far as being a remake of the original Strange Journey, it's not great. Like, it's really, really, really cheap.
Oh, okay.
It uses recycled assets, which I understood for the original game, because that was on the original DS. It's really fucking hard to make good-looking games on the DS, because they have to compress everything down. So you make up for it with good sprite work, good music, good animations. All of that was done so well for Shin Megami Tensei 4, which came out like 3-4 years ago, and it had a direct sequel. And the animations for the attacks and whatnot are great.
Yeah.
Like, if you kill an enemy with a certain attack, the sprite has something done to it. Like, if you kill an enemy with a gun, you'll see, like, bullet holes appear in the sprites. If you hit it with a fire attack, you'll see it, like, actually disintegrate.
Satisfying.
None of that is in this.
Oh, man.
And not only that, they replaced all the character portraits from the original game, which had a shit ton of detail in them, because it was made by the mainline, like, art director. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It's like Kazuma something.
Yeah.
His artwork is really expressive. It looks really, really good. They got replacement artists to come in, and it looks bad.
Oh, boy.
Like, there's one character named Jimenez, and he's got this nasty, terrible smirk on his face the whole game.
Uh-huh.
And it honestly makes him look like he has, like, a physical disability. Like he was fucked in the face somehow.
Oh, Jesus.
It looks terrible. So
He's just got like a fucking dick face. So
pretty much, he has a big giant helmet head.
Oh, come on.
So I'd say if you're interested in playing Strange Journey, find the original DS version. Don't put money for the remake because it's really lacking.
The original's better, you think?
The original is better because, like, for its hardware limitations, it was able to do a whole lot of shit. But this feels like they just took that game with those hardware limits, and they didn't really do anything.
Sounds like they swapped it out for worse things in some cases, like the portraits of the characters.
Portraits look horrible.
That sucks.
There are some quality of life things that are better, like you can save anywhere now, which is really, really good for a game that likes to punish you for not thinking.
Sure.
So being able to save in a dungeon without the game exiting out on me is amazing.
That's great, yeah.
But for the rest of it, I'm like, I'd rather play the original version, or I'd rather play Shin Megami Tensei 4, because that game's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, he played that on the boat.
And then thankfully, I came across a kayaker.
Nice.
And he led me back to shore. I threw him a rope. I tied it to the front of the boat. He tied it to the back of the canoe, and then he paddled us back.
Wow.
It took us a while.
Like a sled dog.
It took us about 12 hours to get back.
Were you mushing him? Did you
couple times
swing some stuff?
Yeah, he wasn't too happy. I don't know why. I was looking at him, I'm like, you're the one that brought beef jerky and trail mix.
Right.
I'm the one that's been eating, like, boat parts.
Yeah. The wood and the paint chips from that boat.
I had to eat the metal railing. Like, what's
God.
going to happen? I'm going to fall off the ship if there's a storm?
Definitely. You're lucky you had those teeth, too, because somebody with normal teeth not going to be able to eat metal railings.
Nope. Thankfully, I chomped down on those suckers.
You got those just stalactites up there, man. Sharp. I love that.
Poops hurt, though.
Oh, man.
Real bad.
I bet.
I felt like an alligator, like eating like something metal.
Yeah.
Something came out whole.
Passing through. I'm sure there's a lot of slicing that happened in the system as that went through.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't go to the free clinic. Once we got back to shore and once I got downtown, I raided a super dog and I just...
Yeah, got some good regular food.
I ate so many onions.
Nice. Yeah, I know you love those onions, man. Well, after I swam back, man, I just jumped. I was kind of like moving around the city. I went to my ponder spot. You know, I kind of sat up there for a while.
You sat on your tree trunk and you thinked.
Yeah, I 100-acre wooded it, and so I was thinking about, you know, just all kinds of stuff, I guess. Just, you know,
Life.
Just life.
How you left your best friend Greg on a boat.
I actually, that didn't really come up as I was thinking on the ponder spot. I would have if I'd realized again that you couldn't swim, but that's just hitting me right now. This is really all this.
I'm glad you're using your brain now. I'm glad you're using common sense.
Now it's here.
As you look at the boy with one arm.
Now it starts to click, exactly. But for so long, no, I was thinking about maybe where I can get some food. I was thinking about Freak and Scummy and their like budding
betrayal.
Friendship. Their betrayal. Freak's little practical joke with the ghosts. I was kind of thinking
they're
about...
gone, thankfully.
Yeah. No, I could see it. Your skin looks back to normal, but yeah, it was weird. You had a weird little like spookashell necklace thing going on there for a while.
Boy, did they scream when I pissed.
Oh man, I bet they did. I bet they were pissed. When you were...
No, I think Boylebeard liked it, but like once I started like going in the ocean, I just heard a
Fair enough. But so yeah, I was up on that I was up on the thing, and you know, I don't know what I'm going to have to find a new ponder spot actually, because I've been going to the same building, you know, anytime between midnight and 5 a.m. for the last like 3-4 years, and
climbing
I love
up
it.
there with your cat suit, looking nice.
Totally. Got
Looking
the cat
sleek.
suit, scale the bricks. I get, you know, make some fresh paper clip
You
claws.
put the goggles on and you sway as you walk up.
I make sure and I climb as sexually as possible. Like I just shake like my entire body side to side. And it hurts. I can actually like feel my spine like rubbing on the inside of my skin when I do that, and I shift side to side.
Maybe if you ate more, then that wouldn't be a problem.
Well, that's what I'm going to work on pretty soon. That's another thing I was thinking about. I realize I'm just like, you know, between the spine thing and like this chest window, I'm not really doing myself any favors health-wise.
Yeah, you kind of have to do one or the other. So
yeah.
The choice is: do you remove the glass and let it drain and heal, or do you eat a little bit?
I think I'm going to go for. I think I'm going to leave the chest window, and I'm going to like maybe eat and start just kind of get some cushion. Yeah, some cushion there because I've been missing that. But anyway, I got to find a new ponder spot because who should come at 3 while I'm thinking about all this stuff and like making some changes with life and everything? But Rajneesh. But Raj.
Bhagwan?
Bhagwan. He has got that...
He tore another dimensional portal just to say hello to you again?
I guess, yeah. He did not freeze time this time, but he did... I mean, he knows the spot, and he can just pop up there like whenever he wants. Seemingly, he knows when I'm up there doing that, so he obviously just like feels free to come on by.
I think it's cool that he can just grab reality like a zipper and just... Bzzz.
Yeah, it is nice when he does that. And it's always... it always takes me by surprise. It is always fun to see someone like step out of like a zipped opening through like space. That's always kind of interesting. But so he comes on through. He also never zips it up behind him. You ever notice that? Like
yeah, he lets
it.
This like dimensional draft waft through.
I know, and just like you can just look back through.
One
that
time he let
the
wind by me for so long, I aged 30 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Thankfully, he did a reverse, and I kind of went back to normal.
Okay,
actually,
good.
I ended up being younger.
I was gonna say you look pretty good for having been aged 30 years. You must have been like actually like 10 years old or something when I first. That's what I was thinking, but clearly
not. No. I'm an adult.
Yeah, you are. And anyway, Raj comes in and he says, you know, like, Don, let's talk really quickly. Why don't you come close to me? And I was like, no, I'm staying over here and I'm not taking this catsuit off. Don't do anything weird. Like, let's just hang, all right?
He really wants to get in that catsuit, man.
It feels like that. And it's like, but we can always move past it. But he does always start that way. He's like taking the temperature. You know, he's like, okay, maybe this time, okay? He's like, why don't we do Netflix and stop time? Let's do that thing again. Remember how close we came to kissing? Did you like that? I was like, no, I did not.
He comes on strong, man.
Yeah, he has no. I mean, he's been dead for however long now, so he just has no qualms about like social weirdness. He's just like
he left his physical form years ago. Now he's
spectral.
He's otherworldly.
He's spectral, man, on another level. But so he did stop and I have, to his credit, he did make me feel a little bit better. At least he distracted me, certainly. You know, like I felt better, like just kind of stepping out of my own head. And, you know, he sat down and was like, you know, so listen, I want to show you this movie because I think it's going to do something with humanity, and it's a consideration that you all need to be taking very seriously. Because I've been to other planes, Don, and I tell you, there are some monsters.
As fine as Southwest. Is that what he said?
He did not. He is a fan of Southwest Airlines. He has like the logo on his cape.
That's like one of the cheapest airlines.
It's one of the cheapest airlines. And recently, I know somebody was like sucked out of the window when an engine part like burst through there, and he loves that. He showed me that clip of the woman like screaming outside the window.
Did he take you to that moment
and
in time?
He laughed.
He's like, look at it again.
Look at her face. Look at her face. She's so scared. She thinks she's going to die.
Look, she goes through that like a pepper grinder.
I want to see her shred, but some fool pulled her back inside.
But I don't want to see her shred like if she was on a skateboard. No, I want to see her rip in twain.
Physically shed, not figuratively shed. I want real skin flaps done.
I want her to come out like red pepper flakes.
Yes. So, no, he was talking about that, and he was like, but I want you to take this seriously, so I'm going to show you a movie which I think will show you exactly what I'm talking about and what I'm concerned about. And I was like, okay. So he does his little snap of the fingers, pops up a little setup, fifth of vodka under the bed, heart-shaped bed.
Hard on.
He's definitely like at least a quarter, maybe a half chub. Because you can just see he has like a flowy robe, so you can see the little indentation, just like moving the thing up. And I'm like, fucking Bhagwan, man. Like, I'm just this movie isn't even sexual. The movie is Beyond Skyline. All right, it's a sequel to the 2010 movie Skyline, which I never saw. So
so you move past Skyline and you go beyond.
Bumped. That's exactly what I did. Courtesy of
is the third
Raj.
movie called Even Further Skyline?
Hopefully there will not be a third movie, because I got to tell you, I don't know what Skyline was like. I've never seen it, haven't read or heard good things, but Beyond Skyline is like a C movie at best. I would probably call it a D movie. It's but not the
You're
fun
putting
kind.
it on like the same pedestal as like a trauma film?
Like a trauma film, yes. It's you know how the Room is really bad, but it's really funny because it's bad. It doesn't know it. Like this isn't that. It's just bad. And there were a few parts that did make me laugh in that badness. Let's see. Basically, the world is it's set in LA, and these aliens come. And what I gather, it must have happened in Skyline the same way. They show up, their big ships just come and populate the sky, and they shine these bright blue lights down at the earth. And any humans that make eye contact with that light, you know, just like looking at the sun, like you look up, all of a sudden they're hypnotized and they just start walking towards the light. And nobody can stop them.
Like
they're not
the big
themselves.
bug zapper from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes, exactly. People are just, you know, drones. They're just like, just
attracted to it. They want to walk into it until
until they get zapped. And again, don't know what happened in the first one, but in this one, the characters you're paying attention to, the main guy, is this ex-LAPD cop who apparently lost his wife in the first movie, which they make references to.
Good for him.
Yeah, you know, he's getting by it with the help of alcohol and losing his job, apparently, but he is getting by it. And he, the guy who played him is Frank Grillo, who was in Captain America.
Frank Grimes?
Grillo.
Grimes.
Who's
Grimy.
Who's Grimes?
Grimy.
Frank Grimy? Oh, no, not that guy. Not Grimy. Dude, Grimy's our bud. He lives here. He's not in movies.
Yeah, he likes living in the sewers.
He likes to live... He'll only live in places that are between land and water. Like, immediately, like, sort of a downward pouring sewer, like a sewer grate in the bottom of the street, like that place where Pennywise pops his head up and talks to Georgie and says, "Come on down here, Georgie."
Except Grimy's like, "Come on down here and read some Adventure Time comics.
I wrote something. I think you'd really like it. I'd love some feedback. There's no one else down here."
You know, he left me a letter once, and it was really nice.
Yeah?
He said, "I like your eyes."
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's a little poetic for Grimy.
You know, Grimy has his moments.
I guess he does. He does
when he's
have
not
levels.
purple and sticky.
Yeah.
I don't like his older brother.
He doesn't...
I don't like Muck. Muck is...
Muck is a sick fuck, is what he is.
He sure is.
That guy deserves that pedophile label like nobody's business.
Yep.
But
grimy on the other hand.
Yeah, grimy on the other hand.
Stinky, but cool.
Stinky but cool guy. No, this guy's Frank Grillo. He was one of the soldiers in Captain America: Winter Soldier. He was like the lead of the band of guys who captured the Captain America. And when that fight scene in the elevator, when they're all like, going down the side of the building and you could see it. And
I remember the scene, but I don't give a shit about any of the characters.
No,
like
you
Captain
wouldn't.
America and,
you
and
wouldn't.
Bucky.
Yeah, he's a nameless soldier in that movie, but that's probably the biggest thing he's ever been in, according to his IMDb page.
Good for him.
Yeah, so that was the reference I made. But anyway, he's the lead in this movie, Beyond Skyline, and he's at the beginning of the movie, he's the LAPD cop, too drunk to help anybody, but his son, who keeps getting into trouble, can't stay out of prison, and he has to keep coming to help him out. He breaks him out of prison for this final time, and as they're leaving the jail, that's when this next attack comes from the aliens. And
then his son gets caught in the light.
Yeah, his son gets caught in the light. He several times almost gets sucked up to the ship, only to be barely saved by his dad and these other band of characters that are trying to stop.
So how do they stop themselves from not looking into the light, but needing to look into the light to find where light is? Do they wear sunglasses?
No.
Do they wear big goggles?
No.
Do they just close their eyes and go, all right, I'm gonna hum,
Yeah.
and whatever direction the light is in, we'll hum back.
Nobody thought of that, I don't think, but they do pretty much just turn away. They'll shield their eyes, or they close them and they just turn away, and that's their
that
best.
Really sucks if they close their eyes and then another alien ship flies down and shoots another ray behind them, and yeah, the light isn't this way.
Yeah, and then they get sucked up again. Yeah, and there are a ton of ships, so there's a lot of light places all over the planet, presumably. But anyway, you fast forward a little bit. The kid does get sucked up to the ship. They all get sucked up to the ship. And what you find out these aliens are doing is they pull the brains out of human heads and they repurpose them into these robot shell suits. So these human minds are powering these alien vessels. And in the movie, it goes on, and it's you find out there's only one alien who's trying to colonize the planet, and the rest are all repurposed human slaves, but they're kind of his army. Except in this movie, some of the humans remember that they're human. So, for instance, our lead is making his way through the ship trying to find his son, and he's about to get stabbed by one of these alien slaves, and it gets killed before it can stab the dude by a friendly alien slave. And
the friendly alien slave is his son.
The friendly alien slave is a random dude that you've never met before, but him and his wife got sucked up on the ship, and she's extremely pregnant with some kid. So after the guy gets saved, the friendly alien leads him to his pregnant wife, who then proceeds to give birth to a baby on this ship. And then they put the
baby brain into a robot, so you have a baby robot.
I wish they did. Instead, the baby represents the next stage of evolution because she's immune to the light that I don't know, man.
How did she get in there in the first place?
The movie.
How can you're only going into the light because you want to be in the light? But if you're immune to it, why would you walk into it? Stupid.
Yeah, the mom got sucked in as a pregnant.
Was the husband just holding her Come, darling, let us go into the light.
I don't know. I guess he died before that. I don't know. The movie is a mess. I shouldn't even be talking about it this much because I don't like it. It's not good. The parts that I laughed at are because the movie is so bad. For instance, there's a group that they meet later on, and there's a guy who is just randomly Australian. His accent keeps dropping in and out, and then
the Irish guy from what was it, the fourth Transformers movie? Mark Wahlberg's daughter is dating this Irish dude.
Okay.
And halfway into the movie, he just loses the Irish accent. He just becomes white American dude.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Except I would say the fluctuation takes place line by line with this guy. He doesn't even make it halfway through with an accent and then loses it. It's he has it, then he doesn't. Then he has it, and then he doesn't.
Oh, that sounds proper. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was bad. There's a point when the love of that Australian guy's life, this woman that he's with, she gets killed by an alien, and he's watching it happen on the camera, and his reaction is his eyes get wide, and he puts his hands on his head, and he's just like, oh.
Did he scream, "Oh no, you didn't"?
He did not. He did not. Basically, the movie, Beyond Skyline is very bad.
Is beyond saving?
It's beyond saving. It's very many levels of bad. I watched it because someone told me it was kind of a fun bad movie, and there were moments when I did laugh because of kind of how bad it was, but I don't think it made up for the 2 hours of wasted time, messy plot lines, and like a weird...
Do you think you would have had more fun if you had people with you?
Possibly. People besides Raj. Yeah, possibly.
That wasn't on a boat?
You know, if this is your backhanded way of telling me that I should have...
Oh, this isn't backhanded. I'm flat out telling you. You left me on a fucking boat.
Yeah, I did. But, I mean, hey, you've left me in plenty of places, plenty of times. So, it's sink or swim. Like I said, there was one of those moments, and I just didn't really think about it, and I felt like swimming. Sorry, bud, but I'm glad you made it, and I'm glad we're here. And great job on the velvet.
Thank you.
It's really good.
I put in a lot of detail. I made a little disco ball, too. From smashed glass.
Oh, you made that?
Uh-huh.
Wow, dude, that is fully functional.
Sure is.
That's great.
Yeah.
It looks like there's something inside the glass, too. Is that a pine cone? Like, what's in there?
Oh, it actually is the eyeballs of that dude that saved me.
Oh, that was how you repaid him?
Well, he saw a wanted poster of me once we got back, and I was like, oof, I'm not letting you remember what I look like.
That's one loose end. You just got to tie it up.
Thanks. So now it's a little jingly.
Hey, that's an homage to that
I mean,
guy.
he has beautiful eyes.
Yeah, very beautiful.
I think if Grimy saw them, he would like them too.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Grimy does like the eyes.
He sure does.
But yeah, Beyond Skyline, don't watch it. I don't think so. Not worth that.
Well, how about we talk about a movie we did watch before we got together?
Yes. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about The Pool.
Deadpool 2. DP2.
Electric Boogaloo.
My man Ryan Reynolds is back and better than ever. He is, Deadpool 2, I have nothing bad to say about it because it was so funny and such a great time. There was not one part of that movie that felt stretched or too long. It was...
I don't know. I think that intro was slow as hell.
Yeah, at the beginning, kind of, but it had to kind of...
But I love the rest of the movie, so it didn't matter.
It had to set the tone, and at the beginning, there was the love part of it, and,
also the fact that the whole movie is kind of a parody of Logan.
Yeah, it is, which starts right from the beginning.
Just so Deadpool can get one last big fuck you to... Hugh Jackman.
Yes, for never having appeared in a movie alongside Deadpool as Wolverine.
Well, one movie, but not as our Deadpool.
No, exactly. The taped-mouthed Wade Wilson from the X-Men Origins Wolverine fiasco.
Man, you know this character that's nicknamed the Merc with the Mouth? I've got an idea. Let's not give him a mouth.
Let's take his mouth away.
Let's make his head look like a condom.
Yeah, that was such a bad move, but completely opposite shown in Deadpool 2.
Well, yeah, because both Deadpool movies is just rife with material of making fun of X-Men Origins and how no one likes it.
Makes fun of everything. All the Deadpool movies, like they poked fun at Infinity War. They poked fun at Josh Brolin. Obviously, a lot of fourth wall breaking.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, they just make fun. Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern character. They make fun of everything. All the tropes in superhero movies. Even like the love and relationships, and even a guy. They even make fun of superheroes with their powers, and then reverting those powers in the case.
They make fun of superhero teams and superhero groups.
Yeah, and there are so many. Also, great moments.
Also, for Deadpool, it is the first superhero movie to show a gay couple.
Oh, really?
Think about that. What other superhero movie has actually shown an openly gay couple?
I'm blanking on who the gay couple in Deadpool was.
It was Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And...
Oh, yeah, the lesbians. Right. Yeah, you're right. I can't think of any. No, but... Yeah, that was really cool.
To think that Deadpool, the Deadpool, is the one that's really progressing the social norms.
Yeah, open-minded.
Yeah.
Would not expect it, yeah. But just another one of many, many great reasons to go see this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody should check out this movie. I wouldn't take your kids if they're younger than like 16, maybe, to go see it.
People who take their kids to see Deadpool are stupid because it's not a kid's movie.
Right, it's not.
It's like trying to take your kids to see Blade or fucking Sin City. It's not. It's not for kids.
Not a kids movie.
Deadpool is not a superhero to look up to. Deadpool is a character that has always been self-deprecating and loathing and just a constant, massive middle finger to comic books in general.
Yeah.
Making fun of retconning, making fun of how comic books are written, how characters are written, and then it takes it up to the 9th degree by making fun of fucking Marvel movies and DC movies.
Right. And again, it gives you the feeling as you're watching the movie that it's just like, it's like watching a great stand-up comic. Like, nothing is safe. I mean, there's everything in that movie, everything that you sort of just take for granted or like, that you think is going to be left as it is for superhero stuff. It's just not. Like, and then they pull so much stuff out of left field. They make all these great references, and
they made a lot of references that I was like, as a Deadpool fan, because I read I'm a religious Deadpool fan.
Yeah,
I read the comics when I was a kid. The last series I read was the series that Brian Posehn wrote, and I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I haven't been caught up with the latest series, but Deadpool in general is just fun. He has really weird, wacky stories that are interesting to read. And this movie's no different because it likes to take concepts of superhero movies and turn it on its head. Here's a movie that's Deadpool starting his own superhero troupe, and it's turned on its head.
Yep.
The amount of callbacks to the original comics, unless you actually read them, like, it would go way over your head. The fact that Black Tom was in this, I thought was amazing.
Yeah,
because no one references Black Tom. No one has made reference to Black Tom in like 20 years.
Yeah, and they made him an actual character in the prison part of the movie, and I mean that reference to the original Deadpool did go over my head because I didn't read those comics, and I'm kind of very new to Deadpool as a character, but the Black Tom thing was really funny anyway because they made him into a character in the movie, and they poked fun at him in what was evident about him already, even in the short cameo that they kind of gave him.
He's a white dude.
Yeah, named Black Tom. And it's like, but they turn all the racial chargedness of that into so many great one-liners later in the movie that it's very, very enjoyable. And
that's the magic of the Deadpool movies. It's a string of one-liners.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there's way less T.J. Miller in this.
Thankfully, yes. He was probably in like four or five scenes and was
screen time total in this movie was probably like 5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely on a need to be there basis. I think right.
We have to have Weasel in here because he's one of the main sidekicks of Deadpool.
Right.
I was really hoping that they would make Bob of Hydra more prominent because now that Disney owns Fox,
right,
they could tie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Deadpool and put them all together and have it in the same world.
They could.
And that way we could have Bob from Hydra. I love Bob from Hydra. He is just a low-level mook.
Uh-huh.
He's just a fucking sidekick. And every now and again, he does work with Deadpool. He's just Bob.
Yeah, just like a normal guy.
That was a great cameo in the first movie. I fucking love that when Deadpool, at the end of the movie, when they're going on the big fight against Ajax.
Yep.
When suddenly Deadpool and this guy look at each other. Bob?
Yeah,
Wade?
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. Yeah, it was cool. Interesting that you bring up the Disney thing, though, because from what I read, I think it was the only joke that according to Ryan Reynolds, the only joke he was forced to cut by Fox was a joke about Disney.
Yeah.
But I mean that's kind of what you can get if your company gets fucking taken over by a massive conglomerate.
But that fucking sucks because you have to have Mickey Mouse's big ghostly hand once again fucking around with shit. It has to be the way that I write it.
Ha! You're not gonna make fun of me. Not without my sanction. Ha!
Not without my consent. Ha!
How do you like those two fingers that have been around for 60 years. How do you like those up your ass, Wade? Huh? This is Mickey's mission right here. Huh.
It's a goddamn
It's a shame.
travesty.
It's a travesty.
Because now this was my fear when Disney bought Fox. And I'm hoping that Fox gets bought out because there's word of Fox being bought by I believe Comcast.
Really?
Yes.
That would be interesting. And I know what you mean about the with Disney, especially, and this is kind of where you see those little trickle downs. There's so many great jokes in Deadpool, you would never miss that. You know what I mean? I only knew it because I read about it when I was reading reviews of the movies and such. And it's just stuck in my head as something that Ryan Reynolds had to cut out, in a movie that seemingly, like, there's no holds barred. Like, like we said, nothing is safe. So when you hear that, no, actually, there's this one thing that Fox was like, maybe let's not do that.
And it's
tiny.
The joke to make fun of the company that's in charge.
Yes, and it's like, it might be a tiny thing.
The company well known for shutting down other ideas if it does not like them.
Exactly, and that's...
Like, look at Solo. I don't think that movie's going to be good.
I don't know. I guess we will see. I don't know.
That movie has been nothing but a fucking nightmare since Chris Lord and
it has.
No, Phil Lord and Chris...
Since Ron Howard had to take over as director, right?
Yeah.
I know what you mean. The lead up to the movie of Solo, exactly. It's been a mess. But I'm gonna wait until seeing it before I make the judgment on it. We'll see what happens with it. But I know what you mean about the concerns about stuff like that, and these are the kind of examples of when a business transaction like Disney purchasing Fox, how that can play out in the real world, in real creative outlets.
Yep.
You get a joke cut, and it's like, it starts like that, but then maybe... It's
the little things, and then all of a sudden scenes are cut because they're too graphic.
Yes, or movies aren't made, because that's not going to work and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
My greatest fear is that we're never going to get superhero movies like Deadpool or Logan ever again.
Because now Disney owns
Disney.
Fox, yeah.
When Fox decided, fuck this like standard superhero thing, let's go weird. Let's make Logan a Western. Let's make Deadpool a full-blown comedy. Let's make, what's the name of the other movie? The New Mutants, a fucking psychological horror.
Right.
I am praying that Disney keeps its hand out, but I feel like now, because of that, just one joke about being Disney taken out of Deadpool, I'm afraid that if there is a third Deadpool movie, that's when there's going to be even more restrictions. You can't make that diddle joke. You can't make that pedophile joke.
Exactly. It makes you think in your head anyway, like, where does Disney have the business telling any R-rated movie about how to do anything, right? Because
money.
Well, yeah,
big,
I know.
Fat stacks of cash and a big mouse hand hovering over you saying, I'll squash your head.
Well, that's what gives them the right to squash the joke, definitely, because they own the whole thing. They own the whole shebang. But Deadpool... And we just mentioned, I mean, it had a great opening weekend. It's on the way to becoming, a successful movie. The original coming out in February was a pretty big success.
Yeah. So back to Deadpool as a movie itself. I love this movie, but I feel like I just love the first movie more. But I think it might be because of what that movie meant to me.
Sure.
It was that Deadpool is now true blue. Deadpool is on screen.
Yeah.
Not fucking muted, skin face, laser eyeball Deadpool.
Right.
From X-Men Origins. The real deal, red suit, they animated the eyes, he swears, he murders.
Yep.
It's gory, it's nasty. The special effects done to Ryan Reynolds to make him look like Deadpool, make him gross.
Oh, yeah.
Is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's unapologetic and all that stuff, and that's why you love it, definitely. And I know what you mean. I personally, as a non, as somebody coming new to everything, I will say I thought about it. I like this Deadpool 2 better than the first movie. There was so much about it that I found myself still laughing about days after we saw the movie. And I mean, there were great moments in the first one too. It's just that there's something about this one that stood out to me where, like, I think the pieces just felt like they came together so well. Josh Brolin did a great job as Cable. He's a great addition to that movie and the cast.
I am so happy that we now have Cable, seeing Deadpool and Cable next to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I just had like a massive nerdgasm this entire movie. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god! Everything I love about Deadpool is here. Domino is here. Fucking
Yes.
Cable is here.
Domino was excellent. Just the whole...
The reveal of the villain, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The whole X-Force, everything they did with Deadpool's team of superheroes was just so hilarious. Again, still the juxtaposition of Deadpool and Colossus. Colossus, the non-swearing, polite...
Christian boy.
Yes, the goodest superhero guy forever, right up against Deadpool, who's completely not that. It's a great pairing.
The digs at X-Men for not putting in anyone else in the movie
not
is
even
still
giving,
fantastic.
Yeah, not giving them like the ability to. They joke about that even more in this movie. I think
which is good because the whole movie's focus is to be on Deadpool and him trying to save this little boy.
Right.
And it's just a wild ride. I think the beginning is weak. I think the beginning is weak. It feels serious for no good reason. But at the same time, it doesn't take itself super seriously because even after this big dramatic moment, 10 seconds later, here's Deadpool pissing at a bar.
Right.
He's so sad he won't get up out of his seat and he pisses on the floor.
Just urinates, and everybody else reacts around him to that. Yeah, it is pretty good, and I know what you mean too. I disagree. I think it was trying to set up any of the emotional stuff later between him and his love and all that stuff. So I do know what you mean, and I understand. It just didn't feel that stretched to me. I just think as a whole, I mean, I didn't feel bored or like it was dragging kind of at all. I think I liked the whole thing.
It's still interesting. Action parts are still fun. I think some of the CGI was really weak looking in some areas. But I think that's just because I'm used to the first movie where there was very little CGI spectacle. For the most part, it's seeing Deadpool actually murder people and just how over the top he is.
Yeah.
They add that, but then they make most action scenes really grandiose.
Oh, yeah.
Of Deadpool fighting a lot of people alone. And it's so fun playing with his powers, playing with his inability to die. The physical humor done in this movie is still fantastic. I fucking loved it, but that's just me fanboying. I need to see it again.
Yeah,
I need to see it again.
Yeah, definitely. I also feel that same way. And I just, loved it too, even as a non-comic reader, and I am just being introduced to the character with that first movie that came out. But both of these movies I really like. I'm putting this one a little bit above the first one, but I mean, either way, if you haven't seen the first Deadpool movie, definitely check it out, and then do yourself a favor and check out this second one.
I know
great.
Deadpool is kind of hard to get into, though, because he's meta. It's meta humor.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
He knows he's a character. He makes fun of being in a movie.
Yes.
Not only is he breaking the wall that he's a comic book character, but he's also a movie character.
Right. Speaks directly to the audience.
Sometimes he even speaks to the audience as Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, very much.
That's how much the fourth wall breaking is.
Agreed. And I know what you mean about how it is it can be tough to swallow with the meta thing. But, and I think that...
Because I know a lot of people who weren't a fan of it because it's a lot of like jabbing you in the ribs like, oh, this is a movie.
Right. Which, and I get that. That's not for everybody either. I do think this is kind of a perfect time for the Deadpool movies too, because we are so inundated with superhero movies that
we need something different.
Yeah, and the making fun of it, everybody gets those jokes because for the most part, even if you haven't seen all the Marvel movies or all the DC or whatever, you've seen some of them or what's going on.
If you've seen the origin movie of any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe characters, all those movies almost play exactly the same. The same beats, the same story elements. It's just that, all right, this time this guy dresses as a cat.
Right.
This guy wears a shield. This dude lives in space.
Right, exactly.
This guy's hands are broken.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Fix that!
The hero's journey.
Yeah, hero's
Whereas
journey.
Deadpool is very much not the hero's journey. It's the anti-hero's, like, relapse.
I like it. Yeah, the anti-heroes relapse, definitely. And yeah, it's just worth it. Like I said, I mean, Greg and I both say definitely check it out. It's good stuff.
It's great. It's a great time. I still like the first movie more. Mm-hmm. But it's still a great movie.
Yeah. So definitely check out both of those, Deadpool 1 and 2. And yeah, that's that. Do not watch Beyond Skyline. And I'm going to go ahead and say not even the first Skyline. Haven't even seen it. But if it's anything like what the sequel was, don't watch either of those.
And I say skip Deep Strange Journey. Try and find the original Strange Journey. But if you had a choice of any Shin Megami Tensei game to start out with, start with 4. Because it's fun and it's just easier to get into.
Sure. Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thing. It makes me hungry.
It does?
A little bit.
You know what it makes me hungry for?
What?
To groove.
Oh, yeah.
All right, buddies. This has been Don and Greg.
Thank you
of
again.
The Boxcar Buddies.
Thank you again for joining us.
We're going to boogie on to the sunset. Let's take this boxcar out for a stroll. Let's invite some friendos in here.
Hey, come on in here. You guys can come in now. We're done recording. Hey.
Thank God that we ran into these beatniks again, and they didn't really have anywhere else to go.
And they didn't have any slam poetry prepared to ruin all this.
Really. Also, no coffee. No coffee. This is velvet floors.
Stop it. Take that. If your mugs don't have screw-on tops, you can't have any liquids.
Bongos are fine. Yeah, you can bring your bongo. Yeah, bring the bongo in.
That's cool. That'll help. Oh, a tambourine. We got a tambourine going. Yes, John, this is so much fun. Yeah. Raj, okay, back it up. Just back it up a little bit, man. We're good. We're grooving. Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me again. Every time you are partying, I say to myself, I've got to get in close there. I've got to come in here and dance.
Yeah, Bhagwan, get in close. Go Bhagwan.
Oh, shit. Dude, you got a chub again, Bhagwan. What are you doing, man? Back it away. I cannot help it. The energy in this place is wonderful. Okay, that's wonderful. That's great.
See you later. Let's see you later, buddies. We're gonna get this groove on.
Tune in next week. Follow us on social media and all that stuff, and never let anybody stop your groove. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because we'll never give you up. We're never gonna let you down. We'll never turn around.
Never.
Or hurt you.
I don't want to do any of those
Well, I
things.
may hurt you if you get on my bad side.
Possibly. But it's hard to do that. Kind of depends.
Depends on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
All right, buddies. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Rajneesh, get out of my